You're listening to a Weeby Geeks Network podcast.
ShotGlassDigital.com.
Sorcerer Radio.
I am a figment of your imagination. You did not know, how could I?
SRSounds.com.
You are going to be a force for good and a very important sorcerer.
The following is an original production of the Sorcerer Radio Network.
Are you insane?
Broadcasting live from Music City.
Walt Disney's
WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney.
Hey, Michael, mi amigo, pay attention, it's showtime.
So it is, and what darling people I have sitting under me.
With Kristen and Aljon.
We better start the show rolling.
Welcome back to the program. We do appreciate you tuning in to Sorcerer Radio, all Disney music all day long at srsounds.com. The Tiki Room in full effect, and we've got a great show for you today. Mr. Man of 1,000 Voices, Stephen Stanton, joining us on the program in a little bit. He's got a lot of fundraising stuff going on, as well as Disney Star Wars projects as well. One of the most feared characters next to Darth Vader returns to Star Wars Rebels on Disney XD. We have Grand Moff Tarkin, the voice, Stephen Stanton. He is here, and he'll be talking about that, as well as Disney's The 7D, and maybe what's going down during Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, and maybe the D23 convention as well, also in Anaheim. Kristen and I are going to be resorting again today. We've got great reviews coming up about Disney property as you are planning your Walt Disney World vacation. Kristen and I had been tackling resort after resort after resort on Disney property, off Disney property, and this week, Kristen, we're talking about what?
Art of Animation.
Art of Animation, one of the latest and greatest resorts out there. So stand by. We're going to be talking about that momentarily. In the meantime, enjoy this tune. Let's get into some Soarin'. Soarin' getting bigger and bigger, and a refurb is coming with the addition of another section. Did you hear about this, Kristen?
Yes, I am aware of this.
It's going to be very cool. So enjoy Soarin'. We'll be back with the resort review when we come back. WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney on Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com. The WDW Tiki Room with Kristen and Aljon. Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WDW Tiki Room. We also have the podcast. Get highlights for this show. Over the course of 5 years, we've interviewed all kinds of Disney celebrities. Kristen, what were some of your favorite interviews over the past few years?
Of course, Stephen Stanton.
Of course. We've had him on several times, and he's always a gracious guest.
Ashley Eckstein.
Yep, another great Disney voiceover person, Disney Channel alumni from That's So Raven, and Star Wars The Clone Wars, and now Star Wars Rebels. How about that? Anyone else? I know we have so many guests on the show.
Chef Todd English.
Oh, there you go. Of course. We've got an announcement, actually, to make now that you mentioned Chef Todd English. Kristen has got a brand new podcast. Kristen, what is it all about? I can only imagine what it's all about.
Well, the Dining at Disney podcast is about everything having to do with food and dining at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, with a little bit of Disney Cruise Line peppered in.
Okay.
But we're going to cover everything from news to reviews, all that kind of, planning tips, you name it. We're going to be talking about it.
Now, it's you, and you talked about food here quite frequently on WDW Tiki Room and WDW After Dark, also on iTunes. But you have got another co-host for this show. You're going to the other coast. Who is it?
Yes, my co-host is Jay Braden, and he's from Diz Geek Podcast.
Very good. Another friend of Sorcerer Radio.
Yeah, he is the Disneyland expert since he
lives there.
That's where he lives. That's where he's from. That is the park to him. And of course, I've got the expertise for the Walt Disney World Resort.
Oh, there you go. Disney food is awesome and a great topic of discussion. It's something our cat Edgar loves so much. He loves food.
No matter what, everyone in the world eats.
That's right.
So this is universal. You don't just have to like.
Wait, did you say
Disney.
This is universal?
You don't have to just like Disney. As long as you like food, we got you covered.
Okay, well that's awesome. I love it myself. So check it out. You can find Dining at Disney podcast. They're courtesy of the Weeby Geeks Network, also partnered with Sorcerer Radio. You can find that podcast on iTunes. You can find it on Stitcher, and of course course, on WeBeGeeks.net. So let's move on now that we gave your podcast a plug. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Disney's Art of Animation Resort.
Well, the Art of Animation Resort is a value resort, which, is located right next to Pop Century. Originally, this resort was supposed to cover the what was it called?
The two sections of Disney's Pop Century Resort was actually the legendary years.
There we go. Yeah, because the classic years is the new one.
And the classic years is the
current one.
50s through the 90s, yes.
Yeah, when I said that, I was like, it's not the classic years. What's it called?
There you go.
Now, there are various sections to this resort. It covers Finding Nemo, Cars, The Lion King, and The Little Mermaid. Cars, Finding Nemo, and The Lion King all are family suite buildings. The Little Mermaid has the standard rooms, which are going to be just like you get over at Pop Century. And the family suites can actually sleep up to 6 people. It has a bedroom with 1 queen-size bed. There's a double-size convertible table bed, 1 double-size sleeper sofa. It has a living room, 2 bathrooms, and a kitchenette. So those are the family suites, and the Little Mermaid is just going to be like your standard room over at Pop Century. Their resort is designed with the big icons that you see at the other value resorts. However, I think this is done even better than any of the other resorts. It really is like you've just walked into that part of the movie. You see, what's his name? Prince Eric, and the statue of him that you see in the movie, that's out there. And you've got forks and other little thingamabobs that she found in the ocean.
The big difference is you stay at a value resort, like let's say Pop Century, one of my favorites. You stay at the Pop Century, you've got the big Roger Rabbit, it just looks like a bunch of toys literally just stuck right in front of the room. Now, the room building design itself is relatively flat. It just looks like a regular building. However, they paint it on the outside. They've got the outside entrances. They got the little murals and different things on it. With the Art of Animation Resort, it's a little bit different. The buildings itself are nice and flat. They do have walkways on the interior instead of the exterior, which is a big difference.
That's only the family suite building.
Oh, the family suite building? Okay, I'm glad you made that correction because I didn't know that.
Yes.
I've only been through there in the food court, but you've actually been through the entire resort, which is really cool. The thing is that this Art of Animation Resort, it looks like those murals are actually, you're walking on like a studio set. Like the backdrop is the entire, in fact, here you've got like a mini Cars Land, which is really neat. You go out there, you see the Route 66 kind of area, and then you've got the backdrop of all the mountainous ranges and different things that you find there, and the actual cars are sitting in little cork kind of drive parkways kind of there. Luigi's tires are all stacked up just like in the movie. So, there's a little fake facade in there. If there wasn't any of this theming on the outside and the paint and the murals weren't put up that way, it would just look like a big square warehouse. That's what people forget. It's easy to forget when you look at it how nicely themed it is just for those exteriors that they post out there. It's quite a great way of disguising that this is a value resort. I would not have thought this is a value resort.
They also did, not just with the painting and the architecture, but the landscaping of it is amazing as well. All of the plants and trees and everything you see look like they should be part of the movie. They found plants that look like seaweed coming up and for the Little Mermaid section, and you have plants that kind of make you think of like tumbleweeds and that kind of stuff that you would expect in Cars. So the theming isn't just with the buildings, but it's also with the landscaping in the resort. It's in that sense, it's unlike any other.
Very cool. Yeah. So you talked about the different sections. There are 4 sections, right?
Yes.
So you've got the Little Mermaid pool area, right?
Let's see.
Because I'm looking at it right now. You've got. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Little Mermaid. I'm sorry.
It's called Flippin' Finn's pool.
It's not Little Mermaid. I'm sorry. It's Finding Nemo.
No, but there is a Flippin' Finn's pool.
Oh, okay.
That features a Under the Seas orchestra.
Oh, that's right. Cool.
With Sebastian.
Nice.
The other small pool is the Cozy Cone pool that, of course, is inspired by Pixar and Cars.
I was going to say,
it's cool. What's cute? What's cute about that is it has little cones around the pool area. Like you have the cozy cones.
Yes. Nice.
But they're little cabanas that you can like relax in. I think those are so cute.
I love it. It looks amazing. I love it.
Now, the big pool that you might be thinking of is called, it's the Finding Nemo pool.
Yeah, the big blue pool.
Yes, the big blue pool.
Very nice.
And it has underwater speakers.
That's right. Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Uh-huh. So you could put your little nose plugs in, put a little snorkel and some snorkel glasses on, and just chill out in the pool and listen to some music
under the sea.
Yeah, that's...
I know it's two different movies, I know, but still kind of cool nonetheless. So,
however, it is the first pool to have that. First Disney pool.
Oh, there you go. Now, there's also a great Lion King section in there.
It doesn't have a pool.
No, it doesn't have a pool, but there is the other section of
I was going to say one other thing about the pool.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
About this pool is it does have a little kiddies section. It's an interactive water play area that's perfect for small kids.
For little
and
explorers.
Even kids up to 8 years old, I've seen in there having a good old time.
Oh, okay, well, good. For little explorers, they can check that section out for sure. And for those different pool areas, of course, there are the rooms that also go hand in hand with that as well. And from my understanding, they're lightly themed as well when you walk into those sections of the hotel.
Yes, the rooms are going to be themed just like the area is.
Okay, so the other two areas that we need to talk about, as I alluded to, we have the Lion King that's out there. Very neat stuff. You've got the little broken, I guess, tree where Timon and Pumbaa and Simba are walking across singing Hakuna Matata. No worries. Definitely there. You've got Rafiki there that's wishing you a wonderful day. You know, nice stuff there. And of course, you've got Mufasa sitting there on Lion Pride Rock there, just looking out over the entire resort, which it just looks so cool because it really does look like a page out of, well, a page, but a frame out of the animated classic, which looks really neat. Now, we've got the Cars Land, you got Finding Nemo, you got Little Mermaid, you've got Lion King, a lot of really cool stuff on the exterior. But as we alluded to, the interiors are just as awesome for this value resort. So I'm looking now at the the Little Mermaid room, and wow, it looks like you sleep in a little clamshell.
I know, is that not cute?
Wow, that's super cool. Now, like I said, you've been there, I have not. So this is really neat stuff. I'd like to stay there just to check it out. It looks to me like the rooms are just slightly larger because this particular area, if I'm not mistaken, with the Little Mermaid has got a little bit more of a family suite vibe. Is that correct?
No.
No?
Nope. It's going to be the same as Pop Century.
Oh, okay. Well, then it looks nicer. It's newer.
I was just going to say it's a lot newer.
Very cool. All right. Oh, I was looking at an accessible room. Okay, that might be the reason why it's got that.
And those shower curtains are each themed by the building.
Okay.
Now, you can buy those in the gift shop.
Ooh.
There's a little tidbit. You can buy them in the gift shop if you really, really like them. But I'm going to warn you, it is not going to be a $30 shower curtain.
Yeah, I can imagine. So
They're pretty expensive.
Well, it says right here, Finding Nemo has got the hearing accessible suite. There's also the wheelchair room, and they've got the Florida special, which is accessible. And then there's also an option for the hearing impaired as well. So that's good. All of those have either double beds or there's I guess the accessible beds are king beds.
Yeah.
So you need to, if you're interested in staying there with your loved one, you might want to, make a request and see if it's possible to stay in a room with a king bed, but understand that that's going to be an accessible room.
Yes, and often those are reserved for people who need wheelchair accessibility.
There you go. Now, moving on to the next group of rooms, you've got what looks amazing to me. It's the Cars Family Suites. Now, Kristen, you did see this in person. This looks pretty awesome. I mean, wow. You've got.
I know, isn't the theming really good with these?
Yeah, so let me talk about it. So you've got the Tomater style kind of, it looks like that could be like some type of pull-out bed or closet or something. I'm not really sure what that is. But the kitchen stuff has got a little bit of a race car theme to it. It's got like some type of snap-on tools looking diamond plate, type of covering on the sink. And
yes, it looks like a cabinet that you would have in your garage.
Yeah, snap-on tool cabinet kind of thing, which is neat. There's a lot of diamond plate going on here, in the little closet and hanger area. A little bit of a study room, kind of a little study room / kitchenette, which looks really good. Good, which is tomater themed. It's got the Cozy Cone, like little license plates and different things of that nature in there. So everything looks like it's straight out of, the Cars films. But then you go into the bedroom area and it just looks really neat. I mean, I can't tell you how neat this is. You got like a kind of like a Naugahyde looking bar stool inspired, couch, which I imagine.
It's that old retro, like 50s diner style.
Like a stool, like a Naugahyde glitter stool kind of thing. So you have that. And of course, I believe this particular couch is also a sleepaway, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. It is a pull-out couch.
Yeah, very, very nice. And the rooms are great. The bedside, tableside lamps are those little Cozy Cones as well. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want to stay at this thing? I'm a big fan of Cars anyway. And I, recent fan convert of Cars, by the way. And this looks really cool. Now, the next section, Kristen, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because now this is a family suite, which is really nice. So you've got a little bit more room, of course, the flexibility of having more family members, more kids there in the room.
Yeah, it sleeps up to 6.
Man, awesome. So here I'm moving on from the Cars family suites to Finding Nemo. And the layout is exactly the same. It's just themed.
Yeah, the layout in the family
Nemo
suite rooms, they're all the same layout. The only difference is if you get a wheelchair accessible room. That will be the only thing that makes any difference to your room, because you need to have the wheel-in shower.
Yeah, that's great. You have a lot of room there in those family suites with the pull-out bed for the kids, the master, style bedroom. You've got what looks like a one queen bed, which is great. You have a double sleeper sofa. You've got one table bed, one double table bed, it says here. Really nice theming, a lot of coral. You've got the the hammerhead shark. You've got the big shark in there in the shower curtain, and you've got the school of fish mirrors. I mean,
his name is Bruce.
Bruce, I know, I forgot Bruce. I'm losing my Disney cred as time goes on here. But
fish are our friends,
not food.
No, they are food.
Oh, they are food. Okay,
they are food for me. Shh, don't tell.
Okay, and of course the Lion King, and the Lion King once again also has the great jungle theming. Once again.
See, I think of all the rooms, I would either want to stay in, from looking at them, either the Lion King or
I would want to stay
the Little Mermaid.
I want to stay in Cars. It looks great. There's something for everybody, I do believe. Now,
but you're a boy, and I think boys are going to lean towards Cars.
I just love the way it looks, man. It looks awesome. All the rooms do look awesome. There's no doubt about it. The theming is great, and this is the newest resort, so there's a little bit of that whole like, it's a new resort, kind of vibe, but understand that these rooms tend to be a little bit more expensive, and they do get taken up really quickly because they are the newest resort. Space can be limited, so you have to book with Kristen. You have to book early. So it says here, according to your site, it starts out at about $115 per night, and of course the price of those resorts will fluctuate depending on the season.
That's starting out, right?
Yeah,
that's going to be for the Little Mermaid, not for the family suites.
Okay, the family suites are going to start out by...
They're going to start out a lot more.
Oh, yeah,
they're not cheap.
No.
They're really nice, and they are really perfect for families who have, I think it's perfect for a family of 5, mom, dad, 3 little ones. It's the alternative for them to not be split up in 2 rooms or have to stay in a villa. In addition to the pools, you do have movies under the stars, which take place at the big blue pool deck. And every night they're going to play a Disney or Pixar film, so you can watch there. I think it's a real nice way to wind down after a busy day at the park. They also have a jogging trail that you can either walk or jog or run, whatever floats your boat. It is 1.38 miles. Now, there is a bridge that connects Pop Century to Art of Animation, so you can easily walk back and forth between the 2 resorts. So that also means you can take that jogging trail and head over to the other side and jog a lot further distance without having to see the same things if you're trying to duplicate that mileage there.
It's nice to walk between the resorts. I really enjoy that bridge for sure.
It is. That's a pretty little bridge.
Yeah.
There is a playground for little kids. I believe you have to be 12 or under to play on the playground.
There you go. And we also have the Pixel Play Arcade. And I love the arcade. So much fun.
And that's located in Animation Hall, which is the main building that has your check-in, your shopping, and
the food court.
Your dining.
That's right. Amenities. Some of my favorites. Okay.
These are the usual suspects.
That's right. You've got parking, Disney bus transportation to and from the Disney parks in downtown Disney, or what will be known as Disney Springs. Disney's Magical Express will take you to and from the airport with no problem. You don't get to, carry all that luggage through the resort. They also have the online check-in, resort check-in with the airline, so you can print out your boarding passes there. Banking, ATM, child services for daycare in case you want to leave the kids with the sitter. You've got dry cleaning and laundry services, locker rentals. You can do the mail there, and of course, package pickup. So when you ship all those goodies back from your day shopping at the parks, you don't have to worry about lugging that back to the room. They'll simply transport it there for you.
Last thing,
my goodness.
They have a food court because it is value, which means pizza delivery to your room or food court. And the food court is called Landscape of Flavor, and they do have a wide variety of food options there.
I like it.
There is a create your own what's it called? Create your own pasta, create your own salad.
And my favorite,
they have a create your own burgers.
I love it.
There's things like tandoori oven roasted meats and vegetables. There's also a variety of hot and cold coffee drinks.
Nice.
They have gelato there. And one of the cool things about this place is
the silverware.
How'd you guys get to say that?
Yeah.
They have real silverware instead of the plastic stuff that you find at the other food courts around Disney property.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool thing. The food court is open daily from 6 a.m. to midnight. They do accept tables in Wonderland if you have that. Or if you're on the Disney dining plan, it does take one quick service meal credit.
Right on. I love this food court. We've stayed at Pop Century before, and don't tell anybody. We took the bridge, walked on over, and had lunch and or dinner at the Art of Animation. It's really good. I really love the build your own burger bar. You know me, I'm a meatitarian. I'm gonna make my double cheeseburger with a bunch of meat and bacon and cheese. So that's exactly what I love, and there you go. You've got it. Now let's go back to the last piece of business regarding this resort. We talked a little bit about pricing. The family style suites are going to be way more, well, not way more, but a little bit more expensive than just the single type of room, that starts at $115 a night. But Kristen, it's a place that I would like to stay at some point. You've already been there. You visited. You went inside the room. You got to hang there. What is your verdict on this resort?
It is a perfect family resort because, especially for families with little ones, because the colors are vibrant. You have larger than life characters, that are displayed. Really cool pools, which little kids, I swear, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is or what the temperature is outside. Kids want to get into the pool.
I don't blame them.
So, they're going to love that because it's just so much fun. It's a really beautiful pool.
Yeah.
See, great food. So mom and dad can enjoy having something like tandoori chicken, and the kids can have their slice of pizza in the food court.
And by the way, they also sell some alcohol there too. So you get wine and beer, so the parents, if you so choose, you can relax yourself, which I suggest.
Let's see what else. I think it's good for people who are looking for more than just your standard room. You want the microwave. You want a small sink. You want all the rooms come with the mini fridge. So
it's a little kitchenette. It's almost like an extended stay style kind of place. So
if you're looking for those little things in the room so that, hey, maybe in the morning you can put some Pop-Tarts in the microwave for the kids or
exactly. Or make Hot Pockets.
Or make Hot Pockets or pizza bites. Any of those things are really good for that kind of room. It's got great sleeping then for families that have 4 or more because of the pull-out chair and couch. So you can sleep more people than just a standard room that holds 4 people. But yeah, overall, I think it's a great resort, especially for families with small children.
We'll be right back with more Tiki Room with our very special guest, Mr. Stephen Stanton, the man of 1,000 voices, Disney and Star Wars voice actor, when we come back.
Do you hear that? Hear what? I'm receiving some sort of transmission.
Routed through the main system.
Routing.
Looking to take a Disney vacation or cruise? Contact Kristen of MagicalJourneysVacations.com. Magical Journeys is an authorized Disney vacation planner. Kristen will get you the best price available and continue to search for deals until the day you travel, taking the worry out of planning your fantastic vacation. Kristen can help plan your dining reservations and answer any questions you may have. She'll even send you maps from the parks. So contact Kristen of Magical Journeys for your next cruise or Disney vacation, and you'll be supporting WDW Tiki Room. Contact Kristen of Magical Journeys at MagicalJourneysVacations.com and mention Sorcerer Radio. So what are you waiting for? Book today at MagicalJourneysVacations.com.
Wow, that sounds great. I want to go.
WDW Tiki Room 2014 event coverage made possible by Halloween Express. For Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars costumes, visit HalloweenExpress.com. MagicalJourneysVacations.com. Book your Disney vacation or cruise today. Jedi Mouseketeer. Geeky news from the universe of Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars at www.JediMouseketeer.com. DiningAtDisney.com. The happiest plate on earth. Dining tips and more at DiningAtDisney.com. WDW After Dark. The weekly webcast for adult Disney fans at www.wdwafterdark.com. And Sorcerer Radio. All Disney music all day long at srsounds.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
WDW Tiki Room.
So it is. And what darling people I have sitting under me.
Only on Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com.
We do appreciate you tuning in and checking us out, not only live on Sorcerer Radio, but on demand as well. iTunes, Stitcher, let's see, what else are we on? TuneIn. I mean, we're in so many different places. And, of course, the brand new Sorcerer Radio app, version 4.0, released just yesterday. And, wow, I love the upgrade to the new app. It sounds great. And now, along with the launch and the 14th anniversary of Sorcerer Radio, the launch of the new app, we have got one of the fan favorites back yet again to talk to us about some great projects he's heading up. Welcome back, Disney and Star Wars, the man of 1,000 voices, our very good friend, Mr. Stephen Stanton. How are you doing?
Hey, good, Aljon, Kristen. Good to talk to you guys again.
It's good to have you back on the show. Once again, you're a fan favorite, and of course, everybody's digging what you're doing there with the Disney parks and with the 7D on Disney Channel and Disney XD. And now, oh my goodness, season finale, Star Wars Rebels. Darth Vader comes back. He brings his friend. You know, we've got Wilhuff Tarkin back on board. You know, just when you thought you've seen the last of him, he comes back, and the foul stench is following him to the new show. And wow, how cool is it that you're back on Star Wars doing that again?
It's wonderful to be back with my old pal Darth Vader, and you know, I've still got him on that leash. It's a little bit longer in Rebels at this point. The leash isn't as short as it was in A New Hope, but it's still there, you know. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to do those 3-story arc in the finale, and Tarkin was just as mean as he ever was, and it was really, you know, it was nice to have Ashley Eckstein back as Ahsoka Tano, because Tarkin was really missing terrorizing Ahsoka Tano, you know, from the last season of the Clone Wars. So I'm glad she's come back to be a future adversary.
Exactly right. You know, we found out that Fulcrum was bringing the rebels together, and that happened to be the Lost Jedi Ahsoka, all grown up. You know, she's in her 30s, she's got new lightsabers, and she's looking to help the rebels fight you and Darth Vader. And my goodness, you know, they staged a plot to rescue, you know, the Jedi from your clutches, your evil clutches. Go figure.
I think when the mind probe droid, when it's seen, I think it's retracting its needle at the point that they cut into it to imply that it had just injected Kanan. So, you know, I think you got to balance it out. You know, you can't have all torture all the time, even though I'm sure that's the way the Empire would love it. You know,
right? Well, you know, with that show, with that show and everything that we can talk about with the 7D and all the great stuff you're doing, we have a couple things I want to go ahead and just hit straight out the gate. We are, of course, you know, part of the Sorcerer Radio Network, and Rebel Force Radio is on Sorcerer Radio. We have Jason and Jimmy, and they emailed me and they told us about this contest that you're doing to bring awareness to the Starlight Children's Foundation, where people can win tickets to Star Wars Celebration. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this goes back to something that we started at Celebration 6 in Orlando, Florida. We had purchased extra passes for Celebration, and we ended up giving them out to some of the locals that we met in Orlando, especially people that helped us out at the hotel, at the restaurant we were eating at, at every night. One of them was the bartender at the restaurant we ate at literally every night that we were there. His dad was a huge Star Wars fan, and they'd heard about Celebration but didn't have the money to go, and so we gave them some passes. And then one of the folks at the hotel who was taking really good care of us, we gave some passes to him so he could take his brothers and sisters to go to Celebration. So we decided to kind of continue that this time, but with a little something extra added to it, and that's to raise awareness for the Starlight Children's Foundation. So we partnered with Jason and Jimmy Mack of Rebel Force Radio. We have 2 pair of 4-day passes, so that's 4 passes total that we're giving away. And Starlight Children's Foundation is a wonderful organization that we came to know through some friends of ours in Australia. Nick Bishop of the 501st, they do a lot of charity work with them, and we knew some individual families that had been helped by the Starlight Foundation. And of course, charities can sometimes only go so far with help, and we got involved as individuals and found out more about the charity organization, and decided that they did really great work making hospital and hospice stays more tolerable for sick children. And so we wanted to let more people know about this organization, the good work that they do. And one of the great things about them is that it's so easy to get involved with them. If you go to their website, you can usually find a hospital in your city that needs something that you can probably afford. I mean, you can donate and buy things that cost $5 to make a kid's stay more tolerable in the hospital, like a box of crayon or a craft book. They partnered with Nintendo to make hospital-grade games and things like that can be used in the hospital to make their stay better and just easier for them. So they're a great organization. They've got a long history with the 501st, and we have a long history with 501st. And so like I said, we're partnering with Rebel Force Radio, 501st Legion worldwide, and helping raise awareness for this organization.
It's a beautiful thing. You can get more information for this great organization by visiting starlight.org, and from there you can, like Stephen said, you can really, put your money to great use immediately and make a change and make a difference in a child, that going through some great, great hardships, and their families as well. So that's a really good thing.
I really like this. I hadn't heard of this before, but this is super cool. As being somebody who grew up as a sick kid and was in the hospital quite a bit, this is really, really cool, because even the smallest things do make being in the hospital a little bit easier.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're so right on the money, and that's only one aspect of the organization. They really help families out in a lot of ways. And with our history of working with the 501st and doing charity work, we started out with things like us getting contacted by individual garrisons around the country and around the world, and we would supply them with pictures from official pics by characters from Star Wars, like Tarkin, and he would say things on the picture to a child in a hospital, like the Grand Moff has heard that you're under the weather, and he hopes this trooper is back into action soon. And we would send these out, and so we took that a little further. In this 501st has a bash that they do at Celebration every year, and this year at the bash we're going to be taking the brand new pictures that were just released by Official Pics of the Tarkin, the Grand Moff Tarkin character that we just saw in Star Wars Rebels. And for the very first time, I'm going to be signing those for donations, and me and Dutch and Kathy and all of our crew are going to be matching those donations up to $2,000. So it'll be the only place at Celebration that I'll be signing autographs, but they're great pictures. They're a lot of fun, and if people are autographed, they collect autograph or they collect the Official Pics, this is a great opportunity to get your hands on these brand new Grand Moff Tarkin pictures and also to contribute to a great charitable organization.
Oh, that is amazing stuff. And once again, who wouldn't want to help the kids and get some really awesome stuff in the process? Giving, what they say, sharing is caring. So go ahead and do that. And who knows, you might win tickets to go see Star Wars Celebration to boot. That's awesome stuff. Now, if you're interested in that, once again, you'll find the news story at srsounds.com, the Sorcerer Radio website, or JediMouseketeer.com, and of course, Rebel Force Radio, our friends in the Force. And once again, all you have to do is send out a tweet. I'm joining Stephen_Stanton and Rebel Force Radio in support of Starlight Online, and you'll be able to see that quote there verbatim. You need to post that, and you'll be automatically entered for this. And then you'll also have another opportunity to leave a voicemail on the Rebel Force Radio voicemail, our friends over there, at 708-320-1737. That's 708 320-1RFR and just leave them a voicemail, and then maybe you'll be chosen to get those tickets to go see Steven and the rest of the crew there and the rest of the Star Wars universe at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, California this year, which I'm going to be there, and Steven, you're going to be there as well. Star Wars Celebration, the biggest Star Wars convention on the planet. You got to be excited about going back to Anaheim. It's not too far away from where you are, unlike Orlando.
Absolutely, and one of the people that we're going to be working with that's helping us put all this together with the 501st Badge is Scott Allen, who's the head of the 501st in Southern California, and he's also the 501st Legion charity officer. And this guy is the best Darth Vader that's out there, bar none. I mean, we've done so many events with Scott, including the Dave and Buster's photo shoot where we introduced the Star Wars Battle Pod that I worked on.
That's right.
Scott, you may have heard him in the Tarkin book excerpt that Jimmy Mac produced.
That's right.
Scott played the Imperial officer that Tarkin was dressing down. Scott, you may not know this, he was a graduate of the very prestigious American Academy of Dramatic Arts, which is like oldest acting school in the English-speaking world. And he's that's part of the reason why he's such a great Darth Vader. He just has acting in his blood. So, he's a great person to work with. I'm really looking forward to seeing him at Celebration. He understands everything that we're doing and what we're about. And so we always have a lot of fun. In fact, Scott was Vader at Celebration when you may have seen pictures of me sort of in a Tarkin costume at Celebration 6.
I believe we did.
Yes.
I believe that was him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, season 5 premiere, and that was Scott Allen, who was our Vader for that whole convention there. He did a wonderful job, and it's hot in that costume, so it's not easy. It's not an easy one to wear for hours at a time.
I tell you what, yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Oh no, we got to make sure
I could not do it.
Cooling system, please. It's not just a ventilator. He's got air conditioning in that suit.
No, and I also wanted to mention this time Scott's done something very different with the 501st Bash that I was talking about. This is actually the first one that's open to the general public. So not only can the 501st come to this bash, the general public can go online to the Eventbrite website, which we've got links up all over the place, and they can actually buy tickets even if you're not part of the 501st. And this is the first time this has ever happened. So if you really want to see a couple thousand stormtroopers partying together on Friday night, and this is also the other thing that's kind of special is you guys know my good friend Rick Fitz from Star Trek fame.
That's right.
Rick and his band are going to be the live entertainment at this bash.
Oh,
Rick,
come on.
Oh my God, Rick, he knows how to rock a house. I mean, I finally saw Rick play for the very first time a couple of years ago, and I was blown away. If you guys are there, you got to come to this thing, man.
Oh, I think so. I think myself and Ryan Hurley from WDW After Dark will definitely love to swing by there and check it out. And I believe Rick's band's name is Confunction. So
it's close.
Well, what is it called?
It's called Ramfunctious.
Ramfunctious. Okay, I was like Confunction, one something with a funk. I know Rick. He's funky. So it's going to be awesome. Once again, you've got the Starlight Foundation stuff that Steven is giving away tickets with Rebel Force Radio. So all you have to do is check out our article, and we'll also have a link to it on our podcast at WDW Tiki Room. So that is one. And then the other one that's going on for Star Wars Celebration with the 501st Legion, that is what's going on, where you can get tickets and check out a bunch of great troopers that are doing some great things, and check out Rick Fitz and of course Steven Stanton there as well. That's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the only place where you'll be able to get the official Pix Tarkin pictures. So it's at that 501st Bash. These are the very first ones released. So there's a lot of firsts going on at that 501st Bash. So
there is.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about Star Wars and your involvement. Of course, Tarkin is back in a big way in Star Wars Rebels, but you are continuing work on a great series. We had you last time as the 7D was debuting on Disney, but now you're still continuing doing stuff for the 7D. How's that project coming along?
It's coming along great. We're now into season 2. As a matter of fact, I was just in the studio today recording some songs and doing a couple new episodes for it. And it's one of these situations where they really found their comedic stride, and the scripts just keep getting funnier and funnier. As a matter of fact, there's still the season finale for season 1, The Rock of Sages. I know everyone's waiting for that one. I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but I think that's it's going to be a special, it's either a 2-parter or a 1-hour thing. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but I'm really looking forward to that one being released. I think everyone's going to love it.
You know, the great thing about the 7D and Star Wars Rebels and, a lot of the Disney stuff, and I know that Dutch and I were talking offline about this, was the fact that people with the Watch Disney Channel, Disney XD app can actually watch those shows before they hit the broadcast TV show, or the TV network. So, just download those apps, check them out. That's how Kristen and I checked out the 7D originally, and you can definitely, get a load of what Steven's dropping in terms of songs and funniness of going down, shenanigans going on 7D for the second week. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Tom Ruger has done such a phenomenal job on this show, him and his team of writers on this. I mean, it's one of those shows that's, if you're an adult and you haven't watched it, if you've just sat your kid down in front of the TV and walked away, or in front of the iPad or the iPhone, you really are missing out, because it's one of those shows where they keep slipping in more and more, I want to say adult humor, but in the sense that it's a person of an older generation would get something out of it. And there's lots of inside jokes and sort of nostalgic winks back to other things. Some of the voices that we do harken back to character actors and, from older television shows and things like that. There's a lot of things in there that kids will just think it's funny, but someone, who's maybe a baby boomer, or, they would just say, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they put that in there.
It is a quick-witted show. It really is. I mean, it goes at a really, great speed for the kids, but you're absolutely right. I mean, there's just so many nuggets you guys put in there. You have so much on your plate going on. We talked about a little bit about Star Wars Celebration, but you're also, hopefully planning to do D23 at some point. Any word on the D23 front? Are you going to be doing another appearance at the D23 convention this year?
Well, that's still a ways out. Usually when we hear about that, that'll be closer to the event when they're trying to, arrange things. But, we've done Voices of the Park 2 times in a row. It's always been a big hit. And there's always new things to talk about, because there's always new things at the parks around the world. So I'm hoping that we get a chance to do that again, because from what I've heard from both times that we've done this, no matter how big they make the room, there's always people that can't get in because it just fills up. So I'm hoping that they continue to do Voices of the Park, because there's been, so many people that we've heard from that would love to come see that, and they just can't get in there because, I think they should use the big, the big arena that they have there at Anaheim.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I think they could fill that with Voices of the Parks.
They need to bring it back again, because that was my favorite thing.
Yeah, it is.
Last time.
Yeah, it is our favorite session for sure. Not only to meet all the great voice actors, to talk to them, but even the afterwards, when you all are gracious enough to spend time with the fan and spend some really good time with the fans, and that's what we appreciate the most. It's just a really great thing. So everyone out there, feel free to keep tabs on D23 and become part of the official Disney fan club at D23.com. And you never know, maybe Steven is providing voices for some new attractions at Walt Disney World. You never know.
That's right. You do never know.
Last time I talked to you, you just got done, voicing attractions for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So you just never know.
You know what? Every time I'm in, is it Frontierland? Yes. In California.
Yeah.
And the riverboat goes by, and I see Steven's voice, it always starts me off. It's just, it's like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, hey, look, there's Steven's voice.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. We did something recently for the D23 Attraction Rewind event in Florida. Did you guys attend that?
I wish we did. Unfortunately, we weren't around for that. But what did you do exactly for that event?
Well, it was very, very ingeniously done. What they did was, they had all these different Imagineer guests. And what they had me do was pretty much they had me do Father from Carousel of Progress. And I would say a little bit that was from the script, from the original ride. And then they'd alter it, and I'd bring in the names of the next guest. And they did that live over the PA system. And from what I heard, it went over really well. And so because they had given me a script that was for the entire day's worth of all these things where they would stop and start, and Father would come on and introduce each person one by one. It was a lot of fun to do.
Wow, that's great. Now I'm gonna have to look up the video of that to see if I can spot it. That's awesome. Well,
all I can say is Carousel of Progress is one of those attractions that Disneyland can never take back, and Walt Disney World can never shut down, because it is one of my favorites.
Me too. I mean, it's funny. when I growing up in Florida, and with Walt Disney World being the first park that I was ever exposed to, I have to admit there was like 3 attractions there that I was really drawn to as a kid, and they're not the ones that you would think of, and they are the Tiki Room, for one. That was my all-time favorite.
Well, that's great.
It was just, I loved the way it was, all the stuff outside the windows. They did the thunderstorms and the volcano, all that stuff that's really, it's not in the Disneyland version of it, And then the other ones were the Carousel of Progress and the Hall of President. Those are my three favorite attractions at Walt Disney World. So go figure. It's like, the Haunted Mansion and Pirates and all that stuff is good too, but I liked those for whatever strange reason. I loved watching
because of the voiceover section.
But not just that. I mean, think what Walt wanted people to have fun and be educated at the same time. So he accomplished that 100% when it comes to you. Right?
Well, Walt lives in my opinion. Well, that's the thing. The Hall of Presidents, one of the things I used to get a kick out of it, because I like to do, presidential impersonations and impressions and things like that. But I love to go every time they'd have a new president, and they would keep adding a new animatronic figure. And they're all programmed so interestingly. They talk to each other, they'll whisper to each other and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have to wonder. What they're saying to each other sitting around there. Hello. Well, I mean that is great. Finally getting down to the crux of your favorite childhood attractions there at the park. One of the debates we've been having recently in the Disney fan community is the fact that they may be moving the Carousel of Progress to Epcot's Future World. Did you hear about this?
No, I haven't. This is news to me.
Yes, rumor has it that they will be refurbing and redoing the Wonders of Life Pavilion and transplanting the Carousel of Progress all the way over to Epcot's Future World, and maybe doing a little bit of an update to it. Now this is news to you. How do you feel about it?
I think that if they move it, they should enlarge it so every decade can be represented until we get to 2015. Because you know how it's like a 4-part thing right now. Yeah. The 4 seasons. I think they should expand it so you can go, instead of stopping at 1960, you go 1970, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, and 2015. Wow. Then I'd be all for it, because then it would probably be like a half hour long or 45 minutes. I would go to it. I would go to something like that.
Well, Ellen's Energy Adventure is a 45-minute attraction, so I think a lot of people can be okay with a 40-minute Carousel of Progress for sure. I know I would.
They'd probably stay awake for that one.
Yeah, I know they would.
It's one of those attractions that allows you to get off your feet and rest for a while, because as you know, Walt Disney World Resort is, and even Epcot, that's a lot of real estate you have to cover. It's not like Disneyland where it's all compact. So any attraction that allows you to sit down for any length of time and rest your feet is always good,
We're wrapping things up here with Stephen Stanton, and don't forget, you can follow Stephen on Twitter at Stephen_Stanton. You also have a YouTube channel that you occasionally post some really interesting stuff on there. You've got some of your film stuff, some of the animation stuff you've done, and of course your vlogs as well, where you wax a little nostalgic on some cool toys and stuff like that. So that's really neat.
Yeah, I think we have some things up there, like some of the behind-the-scenes sessions from my recording Roger Ebert's voice for Life Itself, and all those things.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Life Itself, the Roger Ebert story that you narrated, that did so well at Sundance, and of course is available right now for people to purchase on Blu-ray, DVD, is now going to be on Netflix. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. So I just wanted to thank you for tweeting about the behind-the-scenes video that's on my YouTube channel that shows the recording session that we did for the voiceover for Roger Ebert in Life Itself, because that film is actually just coming out to Netflix this month. So I wanted to thank you for getting the word out on that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a fascinating story, and I find it not just fascinating, but even, the behind-the-scenes stuff is always great when you get to see someone like yourself, in the booth, going over the lines, going over the script, and just recording that stuff. I just find it fascinating, and of course, the Life and Times of Roger Ebert as well. Very great stuff, very cool stuff, and you can find that on Stephen Stanton's YouTube channel, and of course, all the other fun stuff that you have in there as well. So go out there there, check it out, buy it on Amazon. You can buy the film on Amazon. You can check it out, and definitely check it out on Netflix and give it some 5-star reviews, because I know our audience is definitely going to do that for sure and tweet out about it. So with that being said, you have so many great projects you're working on, always busy, always working. Is there any other stuff that maybe you can kind of hint about that you'll be involved in some way, shape, or form, or our listeners would be able to look out for?
Well, there is a pilot that I'm working on this summer that I can't say too much about at this moment, but it's a lot of fun. I think it will appeal to a lot of people with a Disney sensibility. It involves me being on camera and doing voiceover both, so I think people are going to enjoy it. Unfortunately, we're at the stage where I can't really say anything about it, but there's some other actors that are coming on board that people of a Disney frame of mind will definitely recognize and enjoy seeing on camera. So.
Man, you tease so good.
Well,
I'm thinking in my Faxifile here, my Rolodex, in my head, in my brain, trying to figure out live action and animation. I wonder. Well, but that being said, thank you, Steven, so much for taking the time and letting us know about these great efforts that you're doing. Once again, you can win tickets to check out Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim this year. Steven Stanton's putting up some tickets along with our friends Rebel Force Radio and drawing attention to the Starlight Children's Foundation, and you can be a part of it. Donate to starlight.org and help out children in need, and that is awesome stuff. And the deadline for this, by the way, is just a few days away, March 16th at 11:59 Central. You have got to tweet out, I'm joining at Steven Stanton _Stanton and Rebel Force Radio in support of at Starlight Online. That note will be in the podcast notes as well as on Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com. You can check that out. And of course, your fundraising efforts with the 501st at Celebration, which we're going to be attending as well. And Steven, you're just a man of so many gifts, and someone that really is great to follow, because you give back every bit that you can, and we really appreciate that. And it's great that you're taking the time to talk to your fans about it and joining us here on the show on Sorcerer Radio. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And before I go, I just want to give a quick shout out to a company that's in your guys' neck of the woods and that's really helped us out and supported us in all of our charity endeavors, and that's the good folks at Little Debbie. They make the snacks that I'm sure so many Star Wars fans are aware of: Cosmic Cupcakes and Cosmic Brownies and the Star Crunch. You saw them, they were out in my studio today, so they're everywhere. They're so generous and they're so giving, and I just want to thank them once again for helping us out. Like I said, in all of our charity work, they're always ready to lend a hand and to lend some snacks too to fans, to keep them from getting too hungry while they're helping us out to do good work.
I tell you what, Little Debbie's taste great in line when you're waiting at Star Wars Celebration or D23 Expo or even Star Wars weekends at Walt Disney World. And in fact, Little Debbie, if you're hearing me right now, because I know you follow me on Twitter, I want to make sure that you know that you have a friend in Disney right here. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So anyway, thank you so much for that. And we look forward to seeing you again. And thank you to Dutch and Kathy as well. Thank you for taking the time out today. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. And you guys, don't worry. You'll be able to find a lot of Little Debbie at the 501st booth at Celebration. So you won't go hungry.
My grubby little hands are all about it. Thank you so much.
You guys too. Thanks a lot.
So, Kristen, where can people find you and your site and Instagram and your new podcast?
Okay, it is diningatdisney.com. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Google+. And that's going to be Dining at Disney.
Have mercy. That was an Uncle Jesse line, sorry.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Dining at Disney podcast, you can download that from Stitcher or from iTunes, thanks to being part of the We Be Geeks network.
Thank you, and your illustrious show producer. That would be me. The other thing you need to keep in mind,
Don't pat yourself on the back.
I'm going to pat myself right now. I pat myself. I'm Mr. Podcast Machine. You need to go ahead and check out this program as well at WDW Tiki Room on Facebook and Twitter. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can pick up tickets to Disney Cinderella, by the way, which is opening this weekend. Holy cow, what a great movie that was. You heard last week on the show our review on the film and some of our red carpet interviews. Very cool indeed. And we're going to tack on some extra interviews from the red carpet on our extended version of this program that's going to be on the iTunes, on the podcast version of WDW Tiki Room. And you can also find us on the WDW After Dark webcast, which is also going to be going on later on tonight at WDWAfterdark.com, the webcast and podcast for adult Disney fans, as we break down all the latest news stories like Frozen 2 that's going to be happening, like the new Star Wars Episode 8 and the standalone film called Rogue One. We've got so much news about that. It's going to be very, very exciting, as well as other Disney news. Like, have you heard about this? Disney's Hollywood Studios might be getting a new name.
Adventure.
Oh my gosh. No. What, you're going to go to Gatorland? That's the Florida Adventure right there in the swamp. You can hang out with the swamp people.
Hey. You never know.
All right. I tell you what do you think about the show? Do you have any questions or comments for us? Be sure to ask us over social media. And you can also call our hotline as well, 850-888-TIKI. In the meantime, we will see you next week. I'm Aljon.
And I'm Kristen. And we'll see you real soon.
Looking for some fun on Facebook with fellow Disney fans? Then you need to join the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone.
Fun Zone.
The Fun Zone is an exclusive online gathering place where young and old alike can come and share their love of all things Disney in a family-friendly atmosphere. The Fun Zone will also be your place for exclusive downloads, images, giveaways, and more. Join us online by going to Facebook.com and searching for Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone.
Fun Zone.
That's the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone, part of Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com.
Rebel Force Radio,
your source for the Force.
Star Wars news and commentary
with Jason Swank and Jimmy Mack.
I've seen Star Wars 500 times.
Weekly live shows and podcasts.
RFR.
Like Rebel Force Radio on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Rebel Force Radio,
your new source for the Force.
Rebel Force Radio with Jason Swank and Jimmy Mack. Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com.